What's up everybody? I'm gonna show you how to make animations for models in Maya. It's really not that hard, but not a lot of people seem to know how it works. So let me just try to explain it and maybe it's helpful for you. Let's hope it is. Um, there are a few different types of animations you can do. You could animate like a machinery model, like a static model, which is not static if you animate it, but whatever, like a piece of machinery like this, or a van which has the blades turning, or other stuff like that. You can animate guns, or you can animate AI, and those are basically three different types. So let's tackle the models first, and maybe I'll do a vid on the other ones too, who knows. So I picked this roof shield model and we're gonna make the top part fold back and maybe make the shield move inward and outward or something like that. It's not very useful, but just to show you how it works. So here we go. Export it to Maya. Get rid of that and get Maya. I should have done this before recording, but it takes a bit. Come on, you can do it. There we go. So let's get the model open. Find the model you just exported. Here it is somewhere. Roof shield. MA. Don't save it. Whatever. Come on. Here we go. Here's the model. So let's get this viewport right. There we go. Now let's see. First, let's go to the three different views you got in Maya. When you press 4 on your keyboard, you got the wireframe view. You can also see joints in the wireframe, and you could see if any meshes are attached to joints. In this case they are not, they all stay blue. If you select a joint and it has a mesh attached to it, that mesh will turn pink or purple, or whatever you call it. So that way you can see if any stuff is binded. Then you got the shaded view when you press number 5. It doesn't have any textures, and when you press 6, the textured view, which just looks nicer, I guess. Those three are pretty useful. Then in the bottom here you got the timeline, which you're gonna need if you're gonna make the animations. These are just the frames you got in the animation. So this is basically a 24 frame animation, and you can extend it, make it smaller, bigger. You can make it as big as you want, basically 100 frames, which is around 3 seconds for a normal frame rate. But we're gonna use that later. First, we're gonna need to make this model set up so we can actually animate it, because right now it's just one big mesh and we cannot do anything with it. So first we're gonna create a skeleton. Let's get the outliner view in here because it's always useful. Put it on the side for you. There we go. Now, as you can see, we only got tag origin. We want to keep it, and we do not want to animate the joint in this case. Maybe only for AI animations, but not in here. So we're going to need other joints to move stuff around. Find the Create Joint button. Over here, it's in the rigging toolbar. And by the way, this is Maya 2016, so this has a few new toolbars and stuff like that. It looks a bit different, but all the other options are there in older Maya as well. You just need to look for them, probably. So find the Create Joint button, which is this one. Make sure you don't have any joints selected, and just press somewhere in the view. Here you go, you got a new joint. And we want another joint maybe to move the shields back and forward, so make sure we don't have any joints selected, and again just create a joint. Now if it doesn't register when you click, just turn your viewport a bit and try again, and now it works. So there we got two new joints. Just name them so it's easier for you. Tag, rotate, upper, are which we are going to use to turn the upper part of the shield. And then let's name this tag move shields. We're going to use it to move the little shields in the front. So let's put them in the right position. Select the joint, press W on your keyboard so you can move it around. Now right now they are way outside the model, so let's first get them somewhere centered a bit. Somewhere like there should do. And now move them in the correct position. So when we want the upper part to be able to rotate, we probably want it to rotate around this point so it looks nice and smooth. So just put it in the center here. Let's go to the wireframe view. Here you see the center. Let's line it up a bit. That should do it for now, I think. Yeah, that looks good enough. So let's move the other joint. Press W and move it around. Let's put it back here. That should work. So now we've got three separate joints, and we need to make those into a skeleton basically, so they are connected. You can connect them in different ways. Now this is going to be a really easy skeleton, but when you go to models with stuff like arms and fingers, you're going to want to make sure you attach the correct joint to the correct joint, basically. What I mean by that, I'm going to try to show you. So if I select the rotate upper tag and then select tag origin, and then no, parent, then now they are connected. So when I press tag origin, you see the green line going to the tag rotate upper, and when I move or rotate tag origin, it will also move and rotate tag upper. Now we want this joint to be connected to tag origin as well, but not to tag upper, so we can move these two separately from each other. If I wanted to make a hand, basically, and this is the hand and these are the fingers, you want to attach them to each other so they move with each other. Let me see and try and show you. So if I connect this one to tag rotate upper and do parent, now you see one line going from tag origin to tag rotate upper to tag move shields. Now when I move tag origin, it moves everything, and when I move tag rotate upper, it moves tag rotate upper, but also tag move shield because that one's connected to it. In this case we don't want that, so let's get rid of it. Select unparent and parent it to tag origin. Parent. So now we got a V-shaped skeleton basically, but tag origin is still the base. So if I move this, everything still moves with it. But if I move or rotate tag upper, my other tag just stays where it is. So we can separately animate both of them, and that's what we wanted. So you need to pay attention to which joint you want to connect where to be able to animate your model the way you want, basically. So that's the skeleton part for this model. Now let's go to the meshes. As you can see, this is one big mesh and we cannot move anything because it's all attached to each other. We don't want that, so select the mesh, go to the polygons toolbar and separate. Find the separate button, click it. After you did it, you can select all polygons, I think. I don't know the correct terms, but whatever. Separately, so you can make new meshes and make sure the model is set up the way you want. If you got really big models, it may take some time for the separation to complete, but don't worry, it will finish in the end probably, or Maya just may have crashed on you. Now let's see. First do the shields in the front, that looks easy. So drag a box, make sure you got everything selected, so move it. And we forgot the top and the bottom part, so Ctrl Z to put things back the way they were. Hold Shift and select the parts you didn't get. And there we go. Let's try it again. It looks like we got everything, so put them back the place they were. Now we're gonna find the combine button. It's over here, probably next to the separate button. Easy as that. Combine, and we got a new poly surface or mesh or whatever the hell it's called. But, you can rename it just to make things easier again. So shields front. There we go. And press Ctrl H to hide it, so it's not in our way anymore. Now we're gonna need the top part and the bottom part separated. Let's hide the joints so they're not in our way. Select all this. I'm just gonna hide those so they're not in my way. Select this stuff. Yeah, we don't want that, so hide it. And hide this as well. It looks okay, so that's all we want for the top part. Select everything and again combine them. And we got ourselves the shield big. Now let's get everything back on screen. Display, show all. There's everything back again. Move the things, or not move, hide the things we already combined. Hide the joints. And we got some cameras or stuff. We probably don't really need them. So if we select everything and make sure we get rid of these little green squares, they are not actually part of the model. There we go. And combine those. Let's call those the base. Now select the things you got hidden, press Shift H to bring them back, and we got ourselves a model in 3 different pieces. Now we need to make sure the right pieces are binded to the right joints so we can move them in the way we want. So we got the rotate upper part and we want that to move the big shield. So first select the shield, select tag rotate upper. Now in Maya 2016 we got the rigging toolbar and we got the smooth bind button. In an older version of Maya you want to go to skin, bind skin and then select smooth bind. So let's do that, smooth bind. Now if we go to the wireframe view and select the joint, it turns the mesh purple, showing you that those are connected. If I select tag origin, because this tag is part of the skeleton, it will also show this as a binded mesh. So let's do the same for the front shields. Select the shields, select tag move shields and smooth bind. Everything we don't need to animate and we got left, in the end we're gonna bind that to tag origin. So in this case it's only the base mesh. Select tag origin and again smooth bind. So in the end you want to have everything of the model show up pink when you select tag origin. That way you know everything is binded and it's working the way it should. So if we move it around, nothing gets left behind. So that's the setup for our model here. Let's save this. Why not? Roof shield. Animated. Save it. There we go. So now we're actually ready to make the animation. Let's make this an animation of 60 frames. So it's around 2 seconds basically if you play it at a 30 frame rate. And we want to tell the joints what to do. So if we select a joint and we look at the toolbar, at the timeline, you see there's really nothing in there. And then when I move the timeline, the model is not moving because there's no animation yet. The way an animation works is you make keyframes for each tag in the model, each joint in the model, and Maya will move the part to that keyframe you told it to, and that's basically it. So let me show you because that's way easier. You select a tag, you select the frame it's in, and you press S. You see a red line appear, and that tells you that this tag has a keyframe at this frame, at frame 1 in this case. So if I select another tag, you don't see the red line because that one doesn't have a keyframe yet. Now, for the model, you want a base position. So um, if I just select tag move shields and I don't enter a keyframe at the first frame, but I'm gonna start at 24 or whatever, and I'm gonna move them like this maybe and press S. Now if I go back, they stay there because that's the only keyframe it has. It's not telling to move, it's just telling this positions. So we first want an idle position or a base position basically. So let's get rid of this. Press Ctrl Z a few times. Now our keyframe there is gone. Select the moving parts, go to the first frame and press S. So now we got a base position, and after that we can start moving things around. So let's go to the half of the animation basically and press E on your keyboard so you can rotate things, press W so you can move them, and press R so you can scale them. So we're going to rotate this back, press E, and then just rotate it like this in the position you want it to be at frame 30. So that's going to be somewhere around here. Press S, you see the red line appear, and now when you go back, it'll just fold back nice and smooth. That's all there is to it basically. So now we want this to go back to its upper position maybe, so we can loop it for whatever reason. So select the first keyframe, then right click, select copy, go to keyframe 60, paste it. Now this way, if we go from frame 60 to frame 1, it has the exact same position, so you don't see any hiccups or glitches in the animation, which is not really useful in this case maybe, but when you're doing gun animations, it is, and you really need to pay attention to that. The first frame and the last frame are exactly the same. So we got ourselves a looping animation of this thing folding down and up. Here we go. Press play, and it's all nice and smooth. Now let's move this also, because why not? We put a joint in there, right? We don't want to rotate it, we want to move it, so press W. It already has the starting frame, so let's make this go to frame 20 maybe and go inwards. Press S to make it a keyframe, and then just copy and paste the stuff, because why not? So 40, 60, that won't match. Uh, let's just do it right here, why not? Paste it. And again, the starting frame, copy it to the last frame. So those are exactly the same. And now it's going in and out and in and out and in and out and in. So that's how you make an animation in Maya. It's really that simple. Now this is obviously a very easy skeleton and there's not really much to move around. So when you got bigger skeletons, things may get a little bit more complicated. But in the end, this is all there is to it. There's a few tricks, like if you select a joint and you go to the Windows animation editors and you got the graph editor, you show how the animations are going basically. So if you got this, it rotates over the x axis, and you see these are pretty steep bends. And if you select those frames, you can change how they move. So if I select a straight line, you see they don't flow smoothly, but they just go. Uh, I don't know how to say this in English, but you can see they move less smooth, I guess. So if you play the animation then, and you probably, yeah, you can see it's not slowing down when it gets to the bottom, but it just goes in a straight speed. And if I change this to be more of a curvy graph, then you see it moves, but it's smoother when it's going down, and it's slowing down a bit and then starts to gain speed again. So that's how you can make some tiny changes to how the animations look in the end. Or sometimes when you copy and paste stuff, the graph get messed up and uh, the parts move excessively. So when you just fold it back to here, it starts moving further by itself, and you just check the graph editor and you see there's a big curve here that doesn't belong. So you select the keyframes and just click it the way you want them to be, and it straightens then out. Straightens then out. Jesus. So that's basically everything I use in Maya to make animations for guns, models, AI, everything. There's no real other tricks or things you need to know. It's just patience basically and trying to make things look smooth as possible. So that's all. Now let's put this in game so you can see it's working. Let me see, this is for World at War. I'm sorry for all you Black Ops 3 modders out there, but um, this is just basically to show you it works, and getting it to work in game in Black Ops 3 might be a tiny bit different, but there shouldn't be too much trouble for you. Just a part of making the animation is what I wanted to explain. So yeah, I'm gonna show you for World at War because that's what I got set up. So first we're gonna need the model itself. Let's export that because we gave it a new skeleton, so we can't use the original model obviously. Roof, shield, animated. Let's make a new folder to make things nice and organized. Roof shield. So for this model you want to select all the meshes and all the joints, and you want to make sure you export it from the base position. So if you export the model like this, it will also appear like this in game. So go for the first frame. Select everything, save selection, export selected. Yep, continue, and there it goes. So for World at War to be able to convert the XAnim, you need an animated model, which are not the same as the model itself. So export another model. Basically, all you need to do is select all the joints, but Maya is not going to allow you to export a model with only joints, so you just want to select one mesh. It just doesn't matter which one, just one mesh. You can select this one, the other one. It doesn't matter, just select one of them. Again, look for the right location. Roof shield, animated model. Save selection, export, yep, continue, and that's that. So then we need the animation, which is the XAnim. Over here you're going to enter the frames you want to export for this animation. So you want to export frame 1 up until frame 60, because that's what we used in the timeline. 1 till 60. Let's keep it at a 30 frames per second so it's 2 seconds long and it's nice and smooth. Select where you want to save it. Personally, I don't like saving in the XAnim export immediately, so I got some backups. I'm just, I don't know, so I'm going to put this over here first. No. Let's call it roof shield idle, I guess. Why not? So for an animation you need all the joints, and that's it. Save selection, export selected, and agree. You see it going through the animation, it's exported, and it should work right now. So let's get rid of Maya. Now first, root. Here we go. I exported it to its own folder, so I need to copy the XAnim export, and you want to make sure it's in the XAnim export folder, otherwise it won't let you convert it, so put it right there. Then open Asset Manager. First convert the model, make sure it's a new GDT file, X model, new entry, and name it, so roof shield, nope, damn it, like that. You want to make it an animated model, oh, not multiplayer, animated, so it's not rigid, but it's playing an animation. You select the XAnim export over here, sorry, the X model export, it's the model, so roof shield model, and this is the actual model, so select that one. Now first you need to save it, otherwise it won't let you convert it, so you need to save it in source data, roof shield assets, here we go, and convert that. Now I got a ton of errors, don't look at those. Here's the actual model, converter ended. I'm gonna show you the errors are bullshit, see, there you go, that worked. Now we need the XAnim, new entry, roof shield, idle. The anim file, that's the XAnim export we just put in the XAnim export folder, so select that one. Then the model file is going to be the animated model and not the model you just converted. So select that one. Model, roof shield, animated model. We're not using no track files. The animation we don't gonna set it looping, we're just gonna loop it in script, that should be fine. Use bones, we need that. Delta you're gonna use for AI animations, so we don't use that, we put relative. Relative is for weapon animations and basically machinery and stuff like that in your map. That should work with relative, so put it on that. Convert current asset, we got the bullshit errors again, and over here it's converted. Let me show you again. Converter ended. 30 FPS looks good. So that's that. Now let's put the model in a map. I think I already got it in here, but for the sake of showing you, let me show you. Let's put this on one monitor. Here we go. See, I already put it in there because I already tried to record this tutorial, but I failed. So this is the model we just created, the roof shield anim. We're going to make a script model so we can pick it up in script and tell it what to do. So make sure it's a script model, not a MISC model, and then give it a target name so we can find it in script. So I named it target name roof shield, just like that. So that's the radiant part. I didn't change everything, so that's good. Now you're going to want to go to your zone source folder and find your map name CSV. So that's somewhere around here. Here it is. I just put the model in radiant, so I don't need to put it in here basically, but I'm going to do it anyway. If you spawn in the model through script, you need to put it in here, otherwise it won't work. And you need to pre-cache it also, because uh, otherwise it won't load into the game. If you put it in radiant, you basically don't need to do it, but whatever. So X model roof shield anim. Also put the animation in here, so X anim roof shield idle, and that's that. Let's put this down here, over here. We don't need asset manager anymore. Here we go. Now we're going to need to tell the model to play the animation in game, so we're going to need some scripts to do that. Let me see. Open your mods folder, your map name, go to maps, go for the map name GSC, because this is a really basic script, so you can just put it in here. Look for it in your raw maps if it's not already in here, and move it. So find the function calls post load, which basically load after the game is loaded and everything is running. So put a new line in here, level, thread, roof, anims, roof shield anims, I guess, just like that, and create a new function that tells the machine to move. So we named it roof shield, so let's get the entity first. Shield is get entity roof, damn it, roof shield target name, because that's what we put in Radiant in the KVP, target name roof shield. So here we go, that's our shield. Now we want to play this animation in a loop maybe, so it's not playing once and we might miss it when we're trying to look at it in game. So put a while loop and tell the shield to play the animation. Shield anim scripted. Well, the first argument is a notify basically. We're not going to use it over here, but you can make it up. It can be any string and you can use it to pick up no tracks from the animation. So let's put shield idle, whatever. The second argument is the origin, so it's shield origin, and the third one are the angles, shield angles, and the last argument is the animation it's going to play. So that was roof shield, damn it, I can't type today, idle, and that's it. Now we want the script to wait till the animation is finished, so wait get anim length roof shield idle. So it waits for the time the animation lasts and then moves on to the top of the loop again. So that's a script that plays the anim in a loop. A model that plays an animation needs an anim tree, which is basically just a list of animations it can play. Otherwise you'll get errors and it won't work. So we're going to have to fix that up as well. So at the top here we're going to put a line, which is this one, using anim3, and we're going to make up that file because we need to make it. So let's go with roof shield, and then we tell it to use that shield use anim3. Oh. What was it again? I think it was like this. I'm not fully sure. It should be like that. So we define the anim tree. We tell the game which anim tree this model is using. So we should be kind of good to go, except actually making that anim tree. So go to your map name folder again. If this file folder is not already there, you can just create it, anim trees, create a new file. We called it roof shield ATR because that's what we put in the script. Roof shield. Open it and just put in the name of the animation. So roof shield idle. If this model had multiple animations it could play, you just put them in a list. Each animation has its own line. So roof shield activate and shut down, maybe. I don't know. So every animation has its own line, and that's basically all there is to it if you want to make a new anim tree. So just put it like this, roof shield, save it, and we should be good to go, I guess. Yeah, we should be good to go. So save this, save this. I want to keep that. That's something else I need. So get rid of this. So you need to recompile your map because you put a new model in there. It shouldn't take too long because it's a crappy map anyway. There we go. Now compile the mod, the FF and the IWD, and we want to make sure our anim tree is in there. So the roof shield anim tree, you probably want to put in some images for a custom model. I already did. Select all that stuff, build mod, and now we should be good to go. So where did I put this freaking typo? Over here. Okay. Well, I'm not going to say this should work because that might not be true. No, I'm just kidding. We got it this time. So this is how it should look. Let me show you. This is what plays the animation on the model. You need to using anim tree, which defines the anim tree shield, and I just had a typo here where the A was an S, or the S was an A, sorry. So that's what's fucked up, but this is what it should be. Shield anim scripted. This is a random string you can make up. Shield origin, shield angles, and the name of the animation. This tells the game to wait for the length that animation lasts. So that's all there is to it.
Why don't someone go turn the power off?